Hello everyone, my name is Qi Fan. This is my topic, testing of new lubricant in metal forming process. In the essay, I mainly introduce three main areas: the test method of lubricant in metal forming process, the relationship between lubricant's performance and its viscosity or carrier, the lubricant and environment. In the test method of lubricant in metal forming chapter, I mainly introduced two tests. They are ring compression test and double cup extrusion test. This is ring compression test. In the test, a metal ring and a punch were adopted. If the friction is very low or the lubrication system performed very well, the friction will be very small and won't cause any significant change of inner diameter. If the friction is very high or the performance of the lubrication system is very poor, the inner diameter will be reduced because the friction will cause an inner force to make the ring enlarge from inside. So that will reduce the inner diameter. The researchers can according to analyze the change of the inner diameter to judge the performance of the lubrication system. This is double cup extrusion test. In the test, a punch and two dents will be adopted. In fact, it's an updated version of ring compression test. Besides, but the test has its own defective weak point because the cost of the test is very high. In the test, the punch will press the diameter, but the diameter, if the lubrication system perform very well, the upper height and the lower height of the cup, the upper cup and the lower cup should be balanced. But if they are not balanced, if the higher upper height is larger than lower height, that will prove the friction is very high and the performance of the lubricant is very low, very poor. Next one, the relationship between lubricant carrier and the lubricant performance in metal forming process. The surface of metal is not as flat as mirror. In fact, it's porous and rough like this. This rough surface can contain and trap lubricant in their surface. Like this picture, the more lubricant they can trap, the better they will perform in industrial production. In fact, the lubricant can create a lubrication film to cover the workpiece and to lubricate its surface. Pollution and the environment. This picture showed the consumption of lubricant in last year. In fact, Europe, America, and Asia consume the most lubricant every year. It's occupied more than 60%. The pollution caused by lubricant is very dangerous because this kind of pollution are very light and it's very difficult to be detected immediately. The chemical characteristic of lubricant is very unstable. In fact, when the lubricant back to natural, it will change its characters more or less. Besides, the amount of lubricant consumption is very large, so that will enlarge the pollution. Hazards. The lubricant will cause some hazards. These hazards can be classified into physical hazards and chemical hazards. Physical hazards means these lubricants, most of them are mineral products. That means they are flammable. sometimes they will cause explosion. In fact, just in this August, Tianjin happened an explosion and they killed more than 300 people. So these mineral lubricants must be replaced by unflammable materials. Chemical hazards. Most of these lubricants are poisoned because they will cause cancer, disease, heart disease, and so on. If you work with these kind of materials, that will damage your body. So we must find new materials to replace them. Water hazards. These lubricants will damage our water quality too. In fact, these lubricants they are liquid, so they are easy to come back to water. So we must treat them carefully. Solution. Both individual and government should take the responsibility to overcome these bad things. Government should establish laws and regulations to limit the usage of hazardous lubricant, and the individual can support government to make sure these regulations and laws will be adopted. For example, In America, two regulations cause significant impact on the consumption and harmless disposal of traditional lubricants. They are Executive Order 12,873 and Great Lake Water Quality Investigation. The first regulation encourages the state-owned factory to use the environmentally friendly lubricant, and that will punish the company. Don't use these kind of new lubricants. The second regulation mainly focuses on protect water environment. This regulation forbids the usage of zinc coat because zinc will damage the water quality. Germany has also established this kind of regulation too. In Germany, authorities encourage factories to adopt environmentally friendly lubricant in their industrial production. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.